Dambulla Cave Temple, also known as the Golden Temple of Dambulla, is a World Heritage Site 1991 in Sri Lanka, situated in the central part of the country. This site is situated 148 kilometers 92 miles east of Colombo and 72 kilometers 45 miles north of Kandy. It is the largest and best preserved cave temple complex in Sri Lanka. The rock towers 160 meters over the surrounding plains. There are more than 80 documented caves in the surrounding area. Major attractions are spread over 5 caves, which contain statues and paintings. These paintings and statues are related to Gautama Buddha and his life. There are a total of 153 Buddha statues, 3 statues of Sri Lankan kings, and 4 statues of gods and goddesses. The latter include Vishnu and the Ganesha. The murals cover an area of 2,100 square meters, 23,000 square feet. Depictions on the walls of the caves include the temptation by the demon Mara, and Buddha's first sermon. Prehistoric Sri Lankans would have lived in these cave complexes before the arrival of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, as there are burial sites with human skeletons about 2,700 years old in this area. At a Bankatwa near the Dambulla cave complexes. This temple complex dates back to the 1st century BCE. It has 5 caves under a vast overhanging rock, carved with a drip line to keep the interiors dry. In 1938, the architecture was embellished with arched colonnades and gabled entrances. Inside the caves, the ceilings are painted with intricate patterns of religious images following the contours of the rock. There are images of the Lord Buddha and Bodhisattvas, as well as various gods and goddesses. The Dambulla Cave Monastery is still functional and remains the best preserved ancient edifice in Sri Lanka. This complex dates from the 3rd and 2nd centuries BC, when it was already established as one of the largest and most important monasteries. Valagamba of Anuradhapura is traditionally thought to have converted the caves into a temple in the 1st century BC. Exiled from Anuradhapura, he sought refuge here from South Indian usurpers for 15 years. After reclaiming his capital, the king built a temple in thankful worship. Many other kings added to it later, and by the 11th century, the caves had become a major religious center and still are. Nisankamala of Polonnaruwa gilded the caves and added about 70 Buddha statues in 1190. During the 18th century, the caves were restored and painted by the Kingdom of Kandy. Conservation at the Dambulla Temple Complex has primarily concentrated on the preservation of its mural schemes. Senik Bandaranayake reports that the schemes were cleaned during an initial conservation project during the 1960s, which involved the cleaning of the murals. Subsequent conservation strategies at the Dambulla Temple Complex, mainly since 1982, have focused on maintaining the integrity of the existing complex, which has remained unaltered since the reconstruction of the temple veranda in the 1930s. This strategy was agreed during a collaborative project between Unesco, the Cultural Triangle Project of Sri Lanka, and the temple authorities of Dambulla, which ran from 1982 to 1996.